As ever, this is one of the most hotly anticipated races of this event. Lightweight fours is always very close. I've got the Danes off at 51 strokes a minute. That's an incredibly high rate of striking. It just shows the men in red that they want to lead this race. It's really between them, I think, Britain and New Zealand for the medals. And this is the crew that's been informed this season. They've had a fantastic season, except they've come here and they lost in the semi-final to the British. Now, that was a surprise, and we don't know how far their form have been affected.
But it is Denmark with Morten Jørgensen back in the stroke seat now that Eskil Ebbesen has finally retired, and making or looking to make every stroke a winning one. And they've taken right off here from New Zealand, and also immediately to their left, it's the British who are actually just about in second place, with the French now vying for that position.
Yeah, the semi-finals, the Danes had the quickest time through to 500 metres. They can lead out and they can sprint, but the Kiwis have been a revelation this season. Perhaps not quite as long in the water as the Danes, but a really sort of efficient style, very dynamic, very fluid, and their coach Dave Thompson worked with this unit really well to take them to the very top of their game through the middle of this season.
Denmark, and then all in a bunch there, New Zealand on the far side from Great Britain, and closest to you, France. And what a start. All these men, of course, the average weight for the crew, 70 kilos.
Reverse shot there of the Danes leading this race, and a very special crew coached by Ben Franson. They have to be to lead a field of this quality by that much after the first quarter, and still be rowing as effectively as fluid. I think they're rowing the longest stroke in this race, really stretching around the pin, and a very long arc at a high rate, which is why they're moving so quickly.
And it's not exactly the same as happened last year at the London Olympics, but in fact, even at this part of the course, you can hear the atmosphere from the spectators down in the stands watching all this on the big screens.
It's anticipation, isn't it? We took a look at the British there. You already mentioned Chris Bartley, the only survivor from the crew that took silver in the Olympics. Same coach, Rob Morgan, and they produced a surprise when they beat New Zealand in the semi-final, and it set everyone thinking, as we look at the French there, maybe something's wrong with the New Zealanders. Why have they let the British beat them, or why have the British beat them in that race? Perhaps it's some issues with trying to control their weight over the course of the regatta or whatever, we don't know. But at the moment, the Kiwis seem to be holding the charge of the British and looking to make some kind of sprint maybe in the second half back on the Danes.
Curtis Rapley, and then sitting behind him there, Peter Taylor in the three-seater, of course, took a bronze medal a year ago with Storm Uru. As we come to the half distance here, still Denmark, and they're pulling a little bit more out here. Denmark ahead of New Zealand, France and Great Britain. All of those three crews still very much in the hunt there. But Denmark 1:30.98 for that second quarter.
Absolutely, going according to form. That's what we've seen in the semis, where the Danish crew rowed a similarly brilliant race. I do think they're rowing really on top form at the moment, and it's as much as, you know, try and catch us, guys, because that's what this field is going to have to do. The South Africans, perhaps not quite the same crew without Matt Britton struggling with his back injury, doing a lot of cycling, trying to get back into it. French rowing well at the moment in bronze medal position ahead of the British and New Zealand. Are they edging back on the Danes, do you think?
Yeah, just a touch there, and leaving the British and the French a little bit behind now, and there you can see the Kiwis there. They've re-established quite a nice
key man. He's the link man in this crew. I think he's the crew maker, and it's him that's doing all that sort of exertion and work to really help his crew move back onto the Danes. But they're cool. There's no one looking across at the Kiwis. They're all in their boat. Morten Jørgensen's just looking down, as he does, to his right. Nobody's looked across yet, so they're still unruffled, David.
And that gap has closed. It was half a length. It's now almost a quarter in favour still of Denmark. New Zealand and Denmark vying for gold into the last quarter, and it's France and Great Britain fighting for the bronze medal. The others really too far back now. 2 races, 3 medals, 4 crews.
A sensational third quarter from Denmark and New Zealand. They've really killed off the other crew. There are only 2 in it for the gold medal. I think this is a brilliant recovery from the semi-final from New Zealand, the All Blacks, and Dave Thompson's really going to be thinking his crew can win gold after all.
Yeah, the Kiwis inside 130, 129.37 for that third quarter. And the game is really on here now. Denmark versus New Zealand. Who wants it most? A slightly anxious look there from Kasper Winter in the bow of that Danish lightweight four. And still they fight here and they pull further away.
I think you've got to worry when the three men look out, and Jacob Barso, the Danish three-man, absolutely the rock of that crew. He's kept looking in the boat. He's not worried. It's just their boat that counts.
And now the Danish find a little bit more here as they start to open up that advantage. It's going back towards half a length here. Denmark ahead of the Kiwis. Denmark at 41, but the Kiwis must be almost the same.
44 for the Danes, I think, and a high rating for the New Zealanders, but I think Morten Jorgensen's made his move and it could be decisive.
What a fantastic race, and Denmark are once again the world champions of the lightweight four. New Zealand take the silver, Great Britain an excellent bronze, France in fourth, and then the United States and the Olympic champions South Africa to